Chapter 5. The Vampire Encounter. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of purple and orange. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the wall, anxiety knotting in his stomach. His mind raced with the memories of his previous nightmares, each one more harrowing than the last. The beast had been terrifying, but Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that his next dream would be even worse. He had spent the day in a haze, his classmates' laughter echoing in his ears like distant thunder. He had no idea what he was facing, and he felt utterly alone. Ethan closed his eyes, trying to will away the fear that clung to him like a shroud. As night fell, a sense of dread washed over him. He couldn't avoid sleep forever, and the thought of slipping into that dark abyss filled him with panic. But soon exhaustion took over, and he surrendered to the darkness. Ethan found himself standing in a grand, decrepit mansion, its towering walls lined with cobwebs that seemed to glimmer under the light of the full moon streaming through cracked windows. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional creaking of old wood. The scent of dampness and decay enveloped him, sending shivers down his spine. "Where am I?" he whispered, his voice barely audible in the oppressive stillness. The mansion felt alive, the shadows whispering secrets as they danced along the walls. With each cautious step, he felt the weight of something sinister pressing in on him. He explored the dimly lit corridors, his heart racing with each footfall. Portraits of stern-faced ancestors stared down at him, their eyes seemingly following his every move. Ethan's intuition screamed at him to turn back, but curiosity drove him deeper into the mansion's bowels. Suddenly, the silence shattered as a low, guttural growl echoed through the halls. Ethan froze, his breath caught in his throat. The sound was unmistakable, primal and hungry. He turned to run, but stumbled into a darkened room, the door slamming shut behind him with a resounding thud. Panic surged through him as he clawed at the door, desperate to escape. But there was no use. The shadows in the room began to swirl, coalescing into a shape that made Ethan's heart stop. Emerging from the darkness was a figure draped in a tattered cloak, its features obscured by the shadows. The air grew heavy, saturated with an aura of danger. "Welcome, dear boy." A voice slithered from the figure, smooth and alluring. "I've been waiting for you." Ethan backed away, his pulse quickening. Who are you? What do you want?" The figure stepped into the moonlight, revealing a woman with pale skin and piercing red eyes that glowed like embers in the dark. Her lips curled into a predatory smile, revealing elongated canines that glistened like daggers. "I'm Alara," she purred, her voice dripping with seduction. "And you, Ethan, are a most interesting find." Ethan's instincts kicked in. He turned to flee, but the door behind him rattled violently as if something was trying to break in. He whirled back to face Alara, who was now much closer, her gaze locked onto his neck as if she could already taste his blood. "Don't run," she whispered, her voice a silky caress that sent chills down his spine. "I promise it will only hurt for a moment." Before he could react, she lunged at him, her speed almost supernatural. Ethan dodged just in time, narrowly escaping her grasp. The room was a labyrinth of shadows and despair, and he sprinted for the nearest window. He reached it, slamming against the glass in his desperation, but it wouldn't budge. Panic surged as he heard Alara's laughter echoing through the room, rich and dark. "You can't escape me, Ethan. I am everywhere in this house."